Hi everyone, Stefan here, Vormac. I wanted to give you an update on how far we are with these white machines. As you know, we've been working on them, and I'm very happy to say that what you're looking at here is the actual production version of these machines. They have come for a while now. My attention has been quite divided among a lot of other things, and I've had chance on and off to work on these machines. Now this one here is it incorporates all the changes that I've seen, mostly small things. The tracking was one of the way I do the tracking was one of the things that I wanted to change on from the first version to these. I'll talk a bit about that later. So yeah, just to give you a quick overview, with this you have a double shaft where you can interchange accessories on the machine. The guide system here, which is now on the bottom one there, has these levers where you can change the setting. This tilts like that. It's very difficult to do it quickly with one hand. I'll put you on the drum here behind me a bit later, and I'll just show you how I tilt the machine more easily, and also the guide in the front. So yeah, like I was saying, the guide tilts and it's multiple adjustable, completely freely adjustable. You can also use it when the machine is flipped to the horizontal position. Yes, on that the machine flips. It pivots around this point and this point in the front. The tracking knob is here at the back, and you have the jockey wheel with the ratchet. There you have, and then you have the ratchet tensioned. Now these recesses here on the chassis, because these ones that are on here, these shafts are aluminium, the bolt there presses against the little plate there that presses against that, so you don't mar your aluminium. It just makes it last a bit longer. Right, the blue motor on there is a 1.5 kilowatt, so pretty beefy. It works very well. Let me quickly run you over to this side. I've got the other knob for the guide here that you set it there. The platen, yeah, you can tilt the platen as well, however you want. Jockey wheel here at the top. This, you'll notice, is completely flat. There's no tilting of these wheels. They are simply there for the ratchet here to put the tension on the belt, which is nice because most wheels where you do the tracking there are crowned, and they put a radius in your belt, and when you start running and you do flat grinds here, your belt tends to buckle, have a bend in here, and that's quite annoying when you make knives and that starts to touch the belt, the blade first, and it's just irritating. Anyway, so yeah, it doesn't do that. There's a slight crown in the back wheel. These wheels, at some point I'll probably start putting polyurethane on, just for my personal preference of not hearing that annoying belt joint coming around, click, click, click every time. But as far as these ratchet systems go, the pressure that you can apply to the belt to prevent slippage on these bare wheels is enough. So you don't really get slippage. I mean, you can really run this thing and press hard against it in the front, and slippage, unless you really abusing the machine, you're really not going to have an issue with slippage, even on these bare aluminium drive wheels. That's 150 millimeter drive wheel. A bit more about the tracking. Well, before I get that, this lever here at the back, you will notice when I pull that releases it there, and your machine can tilt, which I'll show you a bit later. The tracking used to to happen around this point, which means your whole motor assembly at the back would slide on bearings and the whole motor would pivot around this point. What I've found, especially with a ratchet system like this, where your belt tensioning system is rigid, in other words, you don't have a gas strut putting the tension on that, or a spring or anything like that that gives way. What you sit with in a system like this is, once you set the tracking or the tension on the belt, you don't want to be lengthening any pulleys or cause movement in any of these wheels to stretch your belt. In other words, what you get is you get a belt tension change, and that's what's happened with this motor tilting further to that side. The slight movement of this wheel going like this up and down causes differences in the tracking, in the tension of the belt when you set the tracking. And although it's minimal, I wasn't happy with that. It doesn't really change anything to the function of it, but I just didn't like it. So what I've done here is I've moved that pivot point from that side right here. So this wheel, when you set the tracking, literally instead of doing this, now does this. And it pivots in the center of the 60mm wide wheel, perfectly on the 0 position. And there's absolutely no change in the tension of the belt when you do the tracking, and it runs really nice. Let me show you. I've got a quick thing here. I'm just going to hit start, and I'll show you here. I can run it faster. So it tracks beautifully. Now when I run it in reverse, you'll see I'll just flip it here to reverse, and I'll show you there. The whole machine set, I'm not touching it at all, and you'll notice there's literally minimal changes in the belt setting. So I'm just flipping it forward again. I'm going to stop it. Right, so to show you quickly how I set the guide, I'm going to have to put you on this drum here. Let me just see if I can get it without you shaking too much. Sorry for this, folks. This was actually set, but I bend it now as I was talking, so let me try again. There you go. Bear with me. There you go. Okay. So, firstly, to take these out, it's a matter of opening this, and you can take your system out. To flip the machine is as easy as that. Easy as that. These ones, I've got the knob for this like I showed you on that side. Now if you change this, there's a lever here, and you can actually set this to wherever you want. Yeah, it's the same. You can change this wherever you want. Let me quickly show you a change of the belt. Change of the belt, as easy as that. So when you set the belt from the start, you would set your ratchet forward. This would probably be out. Well, I'm going to have it like this. You just put it over. Make sure your belt's over like that. Put it a little bit to the front. I'm going to fasten it here. And that's it. There you go. And tracking wise, you won't be able to see the tracking in this. So, just pull that back. Right guys, thanks for watching.